Forrester.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hello, thank you for listening to WFMCJams.com, Internet Radio. We want to make sure that you listen to some more great music coming from Opry Mills Mall the first Saturday of every month, live on WFMC Jams, hosted by PCG. It is Opry Mills Unplugged. You can hear them from 1 o'clock to 5 p.m., again, first Saturday every month, here on WFMCJams.com.
What is it?
Comparable. I'm not even going to give you a nickname. I'm just going to say your real nickname.
I'm comparable to a lot of damn things.
Yes, you are. Most of them we can't say on the air. The one and the only, the Hillbilly Heartthrob, Jason. How you doing, Jason?
I am absolutely beautiful.
Now, stop lying to the public and say how you really are.
Well, I feel with my fingers.
Enough to the next part on that. We're going to jump right over to the Velvet One. Rebecca, how you doing, Miss Rebecca?
Good. I didn't want the month of January to go away without saying a happy belated birthday to our radio station mascot, Miss Betty White.
All right.
You know, she's the last surviving member of the Golden Girls.
We saw a whole thing about her the other night.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? I loved it.
Yeah, it actually was good. I was thinking of Brian the whole time. It's a long story.
I would like to thank Brian for taking and running with it and making it better and better every week.
Oh, I missed our teleprompter with Brian. We got to get that back up and running. Well, since Brian's at his mic, are you able to say hey, Brian?
No, I'm not able to say hey.
He is unable to say the word hey.
I'm not. Just
right.
Can't do it.
Just won't do it. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing good.
Good. Anything new and exciting we need to be, I guess, alerted about?
Yeah. We go.
Yeah.
It has been a long day. I've got like 5 thoughts, everything on what I got to be doing and saying and whatever. But we drew our winner yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, Sunday we did, yes. And
yes.
I remember the first name, but I cannot remember the last name. Can you help me with that?
No, I don't remember either, and I just know it's Kennedy.
I know the first name was Kennedy. I got that.
I talked with her earlier on the phone, so she's super excited about going this year. It's our first year to go.
That's cool. I like it when it's their first year, when they think they don't have a chance of winning with all the amount of people that apply for that kind of stuff. With every radio station does it at the same time, so it's hard to get in there. But I I like that first time going, win the tickets kind of thing. I think it's pretty cool. So it'd be kind of different. They go, yeah, it's my 15th Bonnaroo. And you're going, okay, that's cool. Right. But I like that first timer, get them involved in some new music and new scene. But so Kennedy is aware that she's won. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to her at the show and do a live interview with maybe somebody in the background playing. That'd be way cool. We did that too, in the past. We want to thank Bonnaroo for allowing us to be a part of that, package giveaway. We have been able to be, I don't know how many of those we've done, 5 or 6 now, over the 4-year period that we've been with Bonnaroo. But giving away 2 wristbands and a parking pass, quite a bit of chunk of money, which is pretty cool, that they're giving that away. So thank you, Bonnaroo. Great lineup this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing Tool. Can't wait to see Tool. Danny Carey is one of my favorite drummers.
I'm looking
out
forward
there.
to Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, she's not bringing the wrecking ball. Get off of it. With Tool, they are doing a Rush tune, a dedication to Neil Peart, who we just tragically lost just a few weeks ago. One of my favorite drummers of all time. I've seen him more than anybody else out there. So,
I saw a really awesome video, speaking of Miley.
Oh, no. Keep it clean, Brian.
No. Music video.
Oh, okay.
It was at a concert.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't guess the combo. It was her, Joan Jett, Tommy James from the Shondells, and Foo Fighters guitarist Dave Grohl.
Okay.
What a combination.
Really?
Yes.
This is a new one that's out right now?
It was a concert they did last year somewhere.
Huh. I've never seen that. There's people yelling at the computer right now. You idiots! But the biggest song in the
they covered Shondel's song "Crimson and Clover."
Really? Well, Joan Jett did that.
Yes.
Yep. So that's cool. Well, excellent. Well, we'll get back with Brian here momentarily. We want to say hey to heatfm.com, heatfmradio.com, pardon me.
Can I reply to something you just said a second ago?
Chris, what?
Can I reply to something you just said a second ago?
Oh, please reply.
You said people are yelling at the computers calling you an idiot.
I don't think I said I was an idiot.
I just wanted to say you're an idiot.
Okay, thank you. You just want to confirm that. And we want to say hey to, well, who's rolling on all the cash flow, dude? I'm making money you just can't count because it's just not there. But anyways, we want to say hey to Lisa T down at alabamajams.com. Thank you for all tuning in. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of this show. We've been trying to get this guy on the show for a long time. This young man is busy.
I'm excited that he finally gave in and decided to come.
Brian and I had to go to Nashville and threaten him. I had a bullwhip. And I said, "You're doing the show. Call Jason right now." Yep. And then Brian jumped on him from behind, got him in like a sleeper hold, and just before he went out, he signed the contract that he's going to be on the show.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, he don't remember that. He woke up with a contract signed, sealed, like he made a deal with the devil.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Brian got him. So, Jason, why don't you introduce our guest tonight?
The one and only Mr. Randy Barnette.
Oh.
Randy Barnette's in the house. How you doing, Randy?
I'm doing good, man.
We've known you for a while.
Yep.
So glad to get you on the show. We're going to talk about you and your life and your music career. Is there a little intro guitar ditty that you can do that you can play? Some little practice thing that you like to do? Anything musical you'd like to just run a scale or two? Just not anything off your... Thank you. He'll be here all week. Tip your waitresses.
There.
The cool stylings of Randy Barnette.
There we go. We'll get Russ up here and we'll do some noodling in a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. So, Randy, tell us about where you're from. You're not from around here with that accent.
You betcha.
Yeah, you betcha, eh?
I was actually born in Oceanside, California.
Really?
Yep.
But you must have been
a
young.
little twist. Yep. my dad worked for, back then it was called Pacific Bell, which was later Northwestern Bell when we got here, AT&T and so on. So I moved to Minnesota when I was 2 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, southern Minnesota, a little town called Austin, Minnesota.
How far is that south of, like, Minneapolis?
It is about an hour and a half south.
So you're closer right on the border
About
than
12
to Iowa.
miles from the Iowa border. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Town about, well, it was about 26,000. So it's,
Still a lot of cornfields in your neck of the woods down there?
there is.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah. It's actually where Spam is made.
Really?
Yep. I love Spam. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't if you lived there. But yeah, the Hormel corporate office is there, and the Kill is also there too. So they make Spam there. So that's one of my memories growing up there is the smell of either cooked bacon or something, or other things that you don't really want to say on the air. So it wasn't.
If you run out of bathroom spackle, you can use that.
Oh,
Spam?
that's true.
They're suing us right now, Jason.
Yeah, I know. We're in trouble. Hey, I gave Hormels a plug. So.
Yeah. Well, we had a Hormel in my hometown of Beloit, which I think was 33,000 strong there. We had a Hormel plant, but they were concentrating more on chili, without beans, chili and stuff. We were at one time the processing plant, our capital of America, because we had Hormel and Frito-Lay and a bunch of them out there.
Wow.
I worked at Frito-Lay at the time, so cool place. We'll give Hormel our props. We need some endorsements, right?
Yeah, they do. They do a good job. They give a lot of money to charity and stuff like that, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they do well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you kind of got introduced to music? Was family part of that?
My mom, mom was a singer. She started singing in the church choir at, I believe, the age of 5.
Oh, wow.
And she would go and do her little solos and stuff like that. And long story short, she sang in, it was called the Austin Lears. And it was a choral group, obviously, but they got this thing where they were in a competition.
We need to get you closer to the mic.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
You betcha.
Yeah, you betcha. This is going to be a fun show.
Yeah. She was in a group called the Austin Lears, and they actually went overseas, and they did a competition. They competed, and they got to stay like in the Welsh homes, stay with the people and stuff like that. So, and then I came along, and she gave it all up, and married my dad and stuff. So I get a lot of musical stuff from my mom.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of stuff did she listen to? I know you're talking about being, choral and sings, but did she listen to like stuff on the radio, on everyday radio? Was it country? Was it rock? Was it mix?
She was a little rocker.
Was she?
Yeah. She liked my dad did too. He was, liked the classic rock stuff too. So, a lot of it. I'm an only child, so. A lot of that, there was always music going on.
Right.
So, so I think a lot of the different influences kind of rubbed off on me. And
See, you and I are a lot alike. I was, between my parents, I was the only child. Mom was the rock and roller. She had the AM station on WLS, which played all the rock and roll stuff at that time out of Chicago. And my dad was, even though he's from Wisconsin, you would have thought he's from down here, because he liked all the old classic country, all that old stuff, swing time stuff.
Sure.
So I kind of got exposed for both rock and country, but it wasn't until when all of a sudden the Beatles hit, and I was like, changed my life. So
sure. Yep.
So that's cool. So when did you start picking up guitar and playing?
I actually got my first guitar. I'm not going to age myself, but I started playing in bars in 11th grade. So,
16, 17 years old.
Yeah, right
17?
around there.
Yeah.
Yep. And I remember a lot of back then. Now a lot of the clubs, I would have to leave during break because we would do 4 sets. So I would have to go outside and for 15 minutes, and then go back in, and then school the next day. So
been there, done that.
Yeah,
yes,
yep. So I did that all the way through my senior year, and
does anybody do that anymore? Do you hear anybody do that?
I don't think people really do 4 sets anymore. Maybe they do. I don't. I mean, here in Nashville, that's obviously they got their 2 to 6 sets and stuff like that. But I don't know if bands really do that anymore.
I don't know.
If anybody knows out there, let us know if they do. Because do they?
David says they do. So has to be true. David saw Sasquatch last week too. So
did you?
He's like the internet. Whatever he says has to be true.
Has to be true.
Believe it.
No.
Perfect.
Jason was in Facebook jail
Yes,
last
I
week.
was in Facebook jail for 24 hours.
We ain't even going to say why. You're just evil. But anyways, So you're still young when you were getting your guitar. Did you play rock bands right off the bat?
Yeah, they were covers, 80s.
Who'd you cover? What kind of stuff did you cover?
Oh man, we covered everything from Ozzy to Elton John. It was a variety thing. So, so right out of high school, I went on tour right out of high school.
Oh,
so
did you?
Yeah. So my senior year, I kind of sloughed off a little bit because I already knew that I was going to be doing this right out of high school.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't need it. But hey, kids, stay in school and
Don't
study.
do like I do.
I graduated, but
Right.
but yeah, I just kind of blew it
The grade
off.
point average went down a little bit.
A little
right
bit,
before-
yeah. Still graduated, but so yeah, there was a band called Free Fair, and what it was a band out of St. Petersburg, Florida. They had like 5 bands. It was Young American Showcase. They would get these bands together, and you'd go down to Florida and rehearse for a couple of weeks, and you'd go out on tour. And we went to schools and did assemblies, and just did like all the top 40 stuff, and so we'd have like 2 shows a day, talking to kids about not giving in to peer pressure, talking, God and, and everything like that. And then we would come back and do a night show. And, so we could kind of pick our own songs then. So we did, rock and stuff like that. So, so I was about 2 shows a day, toured all over the United States. So at 18, that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
To get out and do stuff like
Get
that.
to see the country, get to do what you like to do.
Yep.
Was there any pay involved into this
Yep.
point? They
I
did
think it
pay
was.
you?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. It was, I think maybe a couple $100 a week or something like that. But the lodging was all paid for and stuff like that. So
Yeah, but back then, a couple $100
Yeah.
a week, you
Yep.
know, and doing what you love to do.
yeah, it was pretty cool because back then the assemblies, and I don't even know if they have them anymore.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
I mean, that was like up to maybe 1,200 kids depending on the school.
Yeah.
We'd do them in the gym.
Right.
So the gym was packed. So it was a pretty neat deal.
We had an auditorium in my high school, and my high school, we probably had 1,000, 1,200 people.
Yeah.
We only had 2 grades in my high school at that time, junior and senior. And, we had B.J. Thomas was there.
Oh, cool.
We had Harry Chapin
Nice.
was there, and the guy that did American Pie,
Don.
Don McLean.
Yeah.
He didn't even use a microphone. He just sang with his acoustic guitar
Oh, that's
plugged into
cool.
the PA.
Nice.
And just projected to the auditorium. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We had some really neat people. Then we had a movie star. We had a politician there. So assemblies were cool.
They were cool.
But I don't know
Not
if
just
they
to
do
get
it.
out of class, but they were actually cool.
Yeah.
They were. See, I'm back on that senior thing again.
Get out of class. And sometimes we'd have the high school band or the Battle of the Bands. They would do a little short thing.
Sure.
Cheap Trick played an assembly back when John was just getting big.
Wow.
In the early 80s. Played an assembly in Hononegah High School right outside of where I'm from in Beloit. Sits right
Okay.
on the Illinois-Wisconsin border.
Yeah, they're from Illinois, right?
John's from New Jersey.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's from New Jersey. So, but they were playing through, and it was just a whole deal about graduation night and
Mm-hmm.
diplomas, and kids weren't going to go get their graduation. They were going to go see the Bon Jovi concert. So he did a show for them.
Cool. Very
which
cool.
I thought was very admirable
Yes.
for John to do that. So,
Yes.
You know who did the assemblies at my school?
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Share.
It was me. They brought in all the elementary kids and made me sing for them.
And some of the farm animals around. Here's a goat. Here's a sheep.
The
Here's
sheep
my-
goes,
Oh, man. That's where you learn how to sing with vibrato. Oh, man.
Leave that one alone.
So you're doing cover stuff. So who's the band that you like to listen to back then, and as it changed now, who's some of the new people you like to listen to?
Man. One quick story.
Okay.
After I did the tour with Free Fair, I took a little time off, and as you take the time off, you start itching to get back out and
Oh, yeah.
on the road again and playing a little bit. So there was a thing in Minneapolis called the City Pages, where bands would put in ads where they're looking for guitar player, drummer, or whatever.
Right.
So there was this ad, I think it was called Kingston Management or something like that. It said National Act looking for guitar player. So I'm like, all right. Well, actually, my dad found it and said, he goes, here, call this number. So I called it, and come to find out, it was the Kingsmen. Okay,
wow.
now so the King, you remember the Kingsmen? They had a couple hits.
Yeah.
Animal House, Louie Louie stuff.
Yeah.
So
One that was banned for a while, you know.
yeah. So I was probably 21 at this time, maybe not even 20. I'll say 20. And so I went up for an audition, and it was one original member, Ronnie Martell.
Okay.
He was the drummer, I believe, one of the original drummer or somebody. Anyways, he came out and he was fronting the band.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I'll go try out. So anyways, I tried out, got the gig, went out and did some shows. So the lineup was like, I believe it was Max the Sax. He toured with George Thorogood for a super long time. So at 20 years old, you're playing with Hank Williams Jr.'s organ player and keyboard player and stuff like that. So I learned a lot about life on the road. I learned more, I think, because that was, you saw, I mean, that was the real deal there.
Right.
You know, I mean, that was seeing stuff in motel rooms at 20 that you saw on TV. I mean,
Right.
it was real life.
Right. That you weren't getting out of the bands out of Florida.
Exactly.
You weren't seeing.
Yeah.
Totally 180.
Right. Total 180, because that was more of a Christian.
Right.
Free Fair was more of a Christian act, which I
And now
which
you're
I
in the
love.
pit.
And now I'm like thinking I'm a national act, and we did Louie Louie twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I'm like,
Yeah.
yep.
I see John Belushi every time I hear that song.
So that was actually, it was 1986. It was a 1986 Animal House reunion tour.
Oh, wow.
Or something like that, yeah. So we were out doing that. So that lasted about 3 months.
Did you get to see any of the people from Animal House? Did they ever show up to any of those?
Nope.
Okay, I didn't know if they would ever show up, Karen Blacker or anything.
No, I didn't see anything like that.
Or the horse, just show up.
We did see the horse, but
Did you really?
no.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Other than Donald Sutherland, the highest paid actor in that whole show was the horse.
It was.
Yes. Yeah, more than anybody else, more than John, more than any of the rest of the guys.
Crazy.
The horse was the highest paid actor other than Donald Sutherland.
Wow.
So I'd like to see that just because of that. So.
Yeah. So after that, back and so it's jumped. I did a bunch of cover bands after that. Then in 1990 and 91, I got an opportunity to. I'm not going to say any names, but I got an opportunity to work with a Warner Brothers act, and also in 91 Geffen Records. I both those acts I signed artist developmental deals with those artists as their guitar player. So it was pretty cool to go out and actually do 3,000 seat arenas. And in 1991, actually the band was called Liquid Angel. We opened up. We toured with like 80s bands, Winger, Slaughter. We went out with the band Living Color. We went out and toured with a lot of opening acts. Yeah, we were sometimes like the third act, like the very, very first act, and there was somebody else like Firehouse, and then it'd be like Winger.
Yeah.
And back then, now I don't know if it's the same anymore, but you would just use half of the PA. They would give you just half of the PA, because everything was already all sound checked and set up for the main act, and then you come in. But it was a great time. I did that for quite a while. See out 8,000 people, and
wow.
So once again, I was pretty young doing stuff like that too. So I mean, once it's in your blood, I'm like going, that's it.
Well, how many hours a week do you think you put in playing your guitar? I mean, practice,
man.
shows. I mean, in a standard week.
It's in my hands pretty much about 8 hours a day.
Right.
I got 5 co-writes a week usually, and plus I'm out accompanying. Helping out hours, during the week or weekend and stuff like that. So I honestly, I don't really practice a whole lot just because it's there
all the time. Yeah.
I probably practice the most is when I'm writing at home in my studio. That's just, and that's where a lot of ideas come from.
Right.
Stuff like that too. So, it's crazy. I also got accepted into a music school called Musicians Institute in Hollywood, California. I studied out there. Studied out there for quite a while, and that was a whole different world too. So it was.
Now, was that more formal training? Did you have to go through that?
Yeah. It got to the point where I was self-taught up until that point. I've been blessed with a tremendous ear, and I believe I get that from my mother.
Mm-hmm.
So the old days, you would actually sit around the record player, aging myself, but learning songs by ear.
Yeah.
Learning the solos, and I was a big Randy Rhoads fan. So I learned played along with some of his stuff, and that just kind of carried over. But it got to a point where I was starting to do a little bit of session work at a young age, and I didn't know what I was playing. You know, they would say, you know, it's a mixolydian and do this, and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I applied for this school out in Los Angeles. Guitar Institute of Technology is what it is, and they have several. They got PIT for drums, you know, and everything is all in one school. So I got accepted and studied out there just to figure out, you know, the modes and what I was playing and stuff like that.
Your whole world opened up for you, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
It did, but to this day, I still use my ear more than I do my theory.
I see that a lot with like older people.
I got
older crowd.
Yeah, man. I'll pull the theory out of my pocket as needed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I mean, like when I'm doing Russ's show, I don't know any of those songs, you know, that I'm playing. You know, so I mean, that's just all ear.
Just know the key.
Know the key, and then you use a little bit of theory. You know, what's the relative minor of what they're in? So if you're going to solo, you can, you know, jump in.
Yeah.
You know, use the minor or the major or something. But
I think that's absolutely cool. And we were talking to, we had a music store full of people one day, and we had old people in there and young people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Us guys dropping vinyl and new kids watching YouTube
Right.
and reading tabs. Okay.
Yep.
Connect the dots kind of thing is
Pretty
what I
much,
think tabs are. And it's really funny because when you would hear them play on like a jam night, you'd hear they do, old cats, what keys is in? That's all you need to know. And it's helpful if they go, it's a B flat, 1-4-5, and B flat.
Yep.
You know, it's help, but you know, sometimes it's just B flat. And
Yeah.
Who in the heck plays in B flat?
You know, there's people out there that do, man.
Johnny Be Good was written in B flat.
So see, there you go, and it worked for Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
But so it's one of those things where you see the old cats play,
Or eight, and
Russell.
harmonic.
Yeah. You see the older guys play, and they've just got a feel and a groove toward them, where you see the young guys play, and they might be technically really good,
Yeah.
but they're kind of sterile sounding. They're there.
Right.
They're playing good,
Yeah.
but you're not tapping your toes and bobbing your head as some of these older guys are playing because they're feeling it. You know,
it's a little too technical.
Yeah, and you see the guys just kind of playing it. Just tell me the key. We had one guy ask us just the other day at work, like, man, how do you know when somebody plays a song what to do? And you were like, well, you just know your instrument first. Learn your instrument.
Yep.
And all that stuff just comes as a feeling. It just happens.
It is. Yeah. That's why I trust my ear a lot more.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's just.
I didn't learn how to read music until I got older. I got my butt handed to me when I had to go in to substitute teaching drums one day. Went back home, and the drum instructor quit at this place I used to go to all the time. They said, hey, man, till we find a guy, can you teach drums for us? Well, I was already playing. With bands at that time touring.
Sure.
I'm like, well, yeah, no problem. Yeah, these kids are 7, 8 years old. Well, I get a kid that was 14. Went to the back of the book.
Right.
Where it's like dotted 16th notes, and I'm going like, what?
Yeah.
And he handed me my butt. Now I couldn't tell him he did.
That's a reality slap right there, and I've had that happen too with students. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Well, the only way I could fake out of that was I looked at the kid, and of course the measures are all were numbered. And said, hey man, let's go back to measure number 21 to 22. Let's do those over, but let's get him a little tighter. I had no idea where he was at in the book. At least now I know where he's at. He's on measure 21 to 22. You know, I went right downstairs, and when I opened that book up, said, "How do I read this?" You know, quarter notes and eighth notes.
Yep.
You know, I can get this other stuff. I don't. And the guy sat down, and like my whole world opened up.
Yeah.
Now I only use that on certain times, but if you and I went and we jammed somewhere in Nashville tonight, I'm just playing off you, and it's nothing
definitely.
you can't really teach. You just feel it.
Yep.
And that's the most fun when you're just.
Yeah.
You're just on auto drive, man. Just play. Just play.
Yep.
And you know, sometimes when you're with a good guy, and all he's got to do is just kind of like look at you, you're going, yeah, just keep doing
when you get
I know
locked
where you're going.
Yep.
And I love those. Those are the most fun.
Yep. One thing I can't emphasize enough for a lot of upcoming artists or anyone planning on coming to Nashville is I mean, there's a lot of things, but I mean, as far as a musician goes, learn the Nashville number system.
Yes.
It is just, I mean, you can still get away, and I still use, I'll sometimes chart out, A, B, C, D flat, whatever. But if you're going to be doing studio work or anything like that, do yourself a favor and learn it, because it will definitely benefit you.
It was surprising to me. The musicianship between Michigan and Nashville was so much different. When I went to cut my album, and you're talking about the Nashville number system, the musicians were there at 9 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. By noon, they had 5 songs recorded out the door.
Yep.
Now it's just time for me to put down my vocals and mix and master. And
yeah, well, they say if you take any longer than an hour on a song, then you're not prepared. I mean, that's kind of a Nashville thing. If, it maybe shouldn't even take an hour, but be prepared because, as you know, when you go in the studio, you sit around and you listen to the song if you're lucky.
Yep.
Listen to a work tape or something and look at your charts.
We didn't have that. I mean, I played, a few bars of the song, and I said, "Okay, let's record it."
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you had the one cat on bass that was but doing the Nashville number system. Then he just made copies. Here y'all go.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. They went in their rooms, and bang, out come the song.
It's crazy.
Know your instrument.
Yes.
And be ready.
Yeah. That's so important because if you don't, there's like 800 people underneath you waiting.
Just right behind.
Yeah.
Dude, I was in a recording studio in Wisconsin, and I was 17, I think, at the time. And they decided, like, hey, man, we need a session drummer. And can you do it? Well, when they told me, like, the price was like $30, they paid by the song. It was like $30 a song. And you're like, wow, $30, in like 1975, 76, and if you can knock it out in an hour, that's
Before
great.
I was born.
That was more money, yeah. That was more money my dad was making working for Chrysler,
Right.
So I'm like, well, that's cool. So my first day in, I'm doing a car commercial, jingle. Simple, dude. 22 seconds. You're going to play 45. They're going to cut it to 22 seconds.
Yeah.
No problem. I get in there, and they have a blackboard was against the wall. And they wrote everything out. It was on the outside of the window, and I could see everything out. And it had a little thing on there called, Pat Boone, Debbie Boone was written on the blackboard. And I'm like going, I don't know what that means. I know the beats per minute. I know they wanted to shuffle. Mm-hmm. But the drum intro was Pat Boone, Debbie Boone. And I'm like,
wow.
I have no idea what that means. So I waited, a 17-year-old kid. I grew up real fast.
Right.
I waited till everything was set. And they were ready to shut the door and put my cans on. And I looked at the engineer, Rick, and said, hey, can I ask you a question? He goes, yeah. I said, what's this Pat Boone, Debbie Boone thing? I don't have a clue. So should I just put my sticks in my pocket and leave? Because, they got 50 people sitting in the hallway ready to take your job. I mean, they could literally go out and pluck people to take your job.
Yep.
And he laughed. He goes, that's just how I want the drum fill to play. I want it to start on the snare and do a tom roll. Pat Boone, Debbie Boone. I'm like,
nice.
Really? That's it? And when we had, what was the young lady that her and her sisters were famous, played here a month or two ago?
McCarters.
Yeah, the McCarters. Mm-hmm. Her husband is a studio cat out of Nashville. And he talked to her, and she was the first one I ever heard say, yeah, he was talking about this, Pat Boone, Debbie Boone.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
How cool
But
is
I
that?
knew not to screw it up too early because they could have reached right out and could have plucked somebody that knew what a Pat Boone, Debbie Boone roll was. So
yeah, there you go.
But I learned, and from then on, be prepared.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. That's so true.
Well, why don't we get Russ up, plug him into a guitar, and let him play do a little 3-chord shuffle or something, let you do some riffing over top of it. Little blues. Randy's played guitar. He's got a tremendous career. He's a young guy. While he's getting his guitar ready, we're getting him set up. Why don't you talk about some of your sponsorships that you've been endorsed by?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my musical family. First, the record label MC1 Nashville, Sony-Orchard. They've been wonderful to me. I'm a guitar player, staff writer for them.
Okay. How long have you been doing that for them?
A little over a year.
Okay.
A little over a year, yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Wonderful people. It's a great organization. It's a great organization. Have artist development and everything there. So MC1 Nashville, if y'all want to look that up. And if you ever have any questions, just feel free to hit them up on Facebook or whatever and ask questions. And also, I've been blessed to have a few endorsements and some people helping me out. In-tune guitar picks, wonderful SIT strings, Asiamo gear out of New York. Great people, great gear. Got a whole bunch here, and I always do this. More effects pedals, Nobles effects pedals. They make great gear. Zalia capos, which I'm going to probably do a little thingy here in just a little bit.
Okay.
A little guitar trick that I've had a few guitar players asking me about. Pig Hawk Cables, they've been great to me. So yeah, just a whole bunch of great people.
Excellent. Well, our time is going fast, so
Yeah.
go ahead and play something quick, and then we'll talk about your capos and your tricks.
Little bluesy 1-4-5 thing, no capo.
Are we doing something in B flat? Here you go, Jason.
Just an E. Just do an E chord and an A and a D or something. Sure. Thanks, Russ.
There you are.
Little E.
little ditty
Little
and
ditty
E.
and E.
Sounded like you were doing a little heart there. That little first part of that riff sounded like a little, yeah, but that little acoustic part that she
does. Yeah. Fun stuff.
So, who's your guitar player you like to listen to the most, old or new? Who's
man,
the one?
you know what's weird about that is I really don't listen to.
Really?
That's I don't. I listen to the radio maybe a few times a week just to kind of stay current.
Because he's always listening to the Russ show.
Yeah,
Russ and Friends show.
I work with a lot of probably 17 to 24-year-olds.
Okay.
Doing writing and co-writes and stuff like that. So I'm actually learning a lot. From a lot of these, even, Belmont students, even if they're not, all my co-writers, they always bring something new to the table.
Right.
And so staying current is so important. And especially the way now, being a guitar player, pop country's a whole different way of even strumming. I mean, it's not even, you got your slap and your pops.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, it's a whole different world. So coming from a rock background, mm-hmm. which you can still do your rock chops and stuff like that, but I don't really listen to my people that I used to anymore.
Okay.
Keith Urban, I love his playing,
right.
Stuff like that. So I guess maybe I'm trying to maybe throw some of his stuff in there. And of course, Brad Paisley and all those killer guys. The list could go on. There's Johnny Garcia.
Johnny Garcia.
Throw Johnny in there. Johnny's a good guy.
Johnny's a beast, ain't he?
Yeah, he is, man.
And when you talk to him, you would never know.
Oh, no.
Just
wonderful man.
Like I say, I played with him. Adam and I played one night with Johnny. And we get off the stage, and he's all complimentary on how we just played.
Right.
And you're like, dude, you played major, like 10, 20,000 person arenas,
yep.
and you complimented us.
Yeah, that's how he is.
And then his next thing is he walks off and shows you a picture of his house where he had 3 deer in the front lawn. That was like the big thing of the day. Hey, look at my front lawn. It's got 3 deer on it. I'm like going, you play with Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood, and he wants to talk about his deer in his
yard.
front lawn.
Yeah, that's cool,
Johnny.
though.
Just the nicest guy on the planet.
Yep.
I wish nothing but the greatest things for him.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, man, things are going good. I got a EP I'm working on.
Okay, can you tell about that? When it's coming out?
Yeah, actually, it was supposed to come out last year.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, I know. And so basically what I've been doing is I've been juggling, trying to write and do everything in between everything else, and I just kind of put it off to the side for a while, just because my thing is this is something I need to learn is I put everybody else before me.
Right.
I love helping people. That's huge to me. I love being in co-writes and walking out of a co-write or having something like magical happen in a co-write where the artist wants to smile, but they don't. But you see them kind of like bite their cheek. You know, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
That gives me a good feeling because they're happy. And we've been coming out with some great songs.
Excellent.
I'm actually going to be having 6 cuts.
Wow.
6 artist cuts, yeah. One will be out next month. Tara Thompson, a song I co-wrote called Love Song. That'll be out next month.
Okay.
I have a couple with Justine Butler. She's an amazing singer-songwriter, producer in Nashville.
Make sure we get contact with these people so we can get their stuff
definitely.
on the air.
Get them here.
Anything we can do to help them.
Yep.
Get them on the radio show in the rotation as well as interview these people.
Yeah.
Promote
So
their
we're
stuff.
really excited about the songs being released, and they're Tara's with MC1, so it'll be released, I believe, next month. So
okay,
pretty excited about that. And so the EP, I was going to do like maybe a 5-song EP. It'd be released through MC1 Sony-Orchard, and I narrowed it down just to do a single right now. So I'm just going to do one song. It's called Dreams. And this is something totally different. You know, when you think guitar instrumental, you're thinking Steve Vai, Satriani, stuff like that, who are monster players, and I totally love. But this is going to be different. I've had friends contact me that have anxiety and sleep issues, which we all do.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, can you just record me like some acoustic stuff and just, some chill music?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And so it happened quite often. So the light bulb went off. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do an EP of this. So basically what it is, it's going to be an instrumental, acoustic guitar, electric guitars, keyboards, percussion, and just some really laid-back, chill songs. So that's what this is going to be. And I've had a lot of interest from yoga instructors from all over, actually, wanting this music to play in their studios as they're teaching and stuff like that. So
excellent.
Yeah. There might be a couple little bluesy, rocky things because there's no way I'm going to be able to do just all chill music. But yeah, that's what's going on. So the first single is going to be called Dreams.
Okay.
And that's just a real chill. Just something real laid back.
Yeah.
So it'll be.
No double kick drums in that song at all, I'm guessing.
Not on that one.
Not on that one.
No. So
that's the next song. Yeah.
That'll be the last song, maybe.
The last song is called Nightmare.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
280 beats per minute.
Right. So yeah,
and you don't even sing; you just scream.
I scream. Yeah. Actually, I'm really good at harmonies, which
Are you?
Yeah, I used to sing harmonies and stuff quite a bit, but I haven't. I'm actually doing a show with Tara Thompson next month at the Doghouse, so you might hear some harmonies on that one. We're doing a band show with her.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. So yeah, things are going great, man. It's very unexpected to me that things have kind of happened so quickly. But I think I first started coming to Nashville in 2009.
Okay.
Commuted back and forth, and I wanted to make sure that I had a foundation before just moving here. Mm-hmm. And also, my father had passed away very sudden a few years back, so I wanted to make sure that my mom was taken care of too before I got here and stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, man, I quit drinking, and I've been sober a year and almost 7 months.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty much. There's no way I could have done what I'm doing now.
Right.
With that, it was just my life has taken a 100% turn for the better in every direction. So
and I wish more people could see that early on before they waste half their musical career.
Yep.
They go, man, I wish I'd have done this way back then.
Yeah.
They get involved in other stuff.
It kind of, it takes. This is what I want to do. I mean, I'm so blessed to be able to do this every day for a living. It's crazy, and I just wanted to just give 100%.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So,
a friend of ours, I won't mention names. He was a great blues slide guitarist out of Austin, and he came up in that era where it's all sex, drugs, rock and roll. You have to be cool. Yeah. That's what it took to be somebody.
Right.
And you read all them stories about that. When he goes, but I didn't really start making it until I had my crash. I had my breakdown.
Yep.
And when I got clean and sober is when my creative process started coming out. I started enjoying what I did a little more instead of I woke up and go, wow, We did some really good stuff yesterday, and I remember it.
Right.
You know, Stevie Ray Vaughan, I thought, did his best stuff after he got clean and sober.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
You know, and there's people out there probably arguing with me, but they'd be wrong. He just played better. So, you know, I don't know. So before you waste your life, you're given a gift, and you had to work it. You know, I don't think you're not born to play like you're not born playing like Stevie Ray Vaughan. He had to work it hours and hours and hours a day.
Yep.
There's maybe a handful of people on the planet that seem out like born playing like Segovia. You know, that's just rare.
Right. In Nashville doing what I'm doing. I mean, I actually had to learn how to play acoustic all over again. I mean, I'm still struggling on it. I mean, I've played electric guitar my whole life, you know, and you know, you get here and it's a little bit different. Matter of fact, Russ's show was the first show that I did sober, and I'm, you know, and I shouldn't say sober, but I mean without having a few beers or something before the show.
Right.
So it was a pretty cool feeling to. A matter of fact, when I got done, I'm like, oh, I did it. That's pretty neat. So once you get over anybody listening, you know, once you get over that hump, it's all good.
Oh yeah,
it's all good.
Real quick, one of the last questions: do you still get nervous before shows?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's adrenaline. I think it's more adrenaline than being like, because if you're prepared, you know, there's no reason to be scared.
Right.
But it's the butterflies that I still get, and I love it, man.
I can't wait to get on stage and play. Can't wait.
That anticipation.
So you get excited, you know, you're like, I just can't wait to get out there and just start playing, have fun. I am never scared because, you know, when you're prepared, you know, and it's just fun. Even when I went on tour with a guy 3 years ago, and he would just pull stuff out of the air. Hey, we're going to play this song. We're going to do this. Or, hey, Mark, just make up a beat. You're playing in front of ungodly amount of people. Just make something up.
Yeah. Just do it.
And then he'd get up there while the band's playing. The bass player just like trying to come up with something. And he'd look out there and go, hey, somebody yell a line out for me. Yell out a word. Yell out a subject. And he'd yell out something. He'd make a song up playing live.
Isn't that crazy?
And people are like going, man, you must have wrote that before. And you're like, nah, I just made it on the spot.
Yeah.
You know, our good friend Charlie Allen, you know.
That's a whole another world, too, of their lyricists. I'm brought into rights for
that's crazy,
for guitar to build music around lyrics and melodies and stuff. That's my job, is to do that.
Right.
And so we also have staff writers that do lyrics, and I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
it's just like, wow, that's
Can't
crazy.
do that. I can hear something. If you play something, I can hear the drums, or I can hear maybe stringed instruments, or I can hear cellos of some. I mean, I can hear stuff.
Yeah.
But for me to write down to what Russ does or what David does for a living.
Yeah. I got mad respect for lyricists, man.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yep.
You know, that's the icing on the cake. So, Randy, what's next for you? What's going on from after this?
I got back to co-writes. I got 3 co-writes the rest of the week, and then Russ's shows. Friday, and then it's just a continuous thing. I'm booked up through the 3rd week of March for co-writes.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I'm very blessed. I love helping people, man. Things are good.
Well, good. Well, Randy, it's been a pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We've been trying so hard. And again, I apologize to Russ on the first show. I'll apologize to you. I've been wanting to try to get up there and see you guys and hang with you guys. You guys are family.
We are, man.
And you're 2 of the coolest guys in Nashville. So thank you for doing what you're doing in Nashville.
Thank you.
We wish you continue great success. So not luck. You've earned this and you've worked it. We wish you the best of all that you come across there in Nashville playing guitar and your co-writes and all. Endorsement guys, keep giving Randy the work, man, because he earned it and he'll do your product well. So
thank you
Randy,
very much.
Thank you so much.
Yep, appreciate it, guys.
And we're going to say goodnight to everybody that's out there. All you inspiring guitar players and sessions guys, you know, you can check out Randy and all the people that he's involved with. Off of his social media.
RandyBarnette.net. Yeah, RandyBarnette.net. I'll be uploading new songs from the cuts that I have and stuff like that. My press kit and everything is on there, too. So
excellent.
Feel free.
The new single Dreams will be coming out shortly, and he'll put it on 45, and the B-side will be Nightmares.
Yes.
And, I'll co-write that with him. And we want to thank everybody. For Lisa T down in Alabama, thank you so much for putting us in the air there. Chris out of the HeatFMRadio.com. Brian, the IT guru. The one and the only, David Graham's in the house, singer-songwriter. He's in the house. We got Russell Costa in the house tonight. We got Rebecca, the Velvet One, the Hillbilly Heartthrob, and I am Mark, your DJ Doctor. Until the next show, y'all take care.